This is a baby. They keep showing up in this house. I don't get it. Hey everyone, this is Bobby Angel with Ascension Presents. Today I'd like to talk to you about how you can fight sloth to help you fight your lust. So what the heck are we talking about here? First of all, lust would be looking at another person with the eyes of use, looking to use the other person just as an object of pleasure. That could be in person, that could be in a hookup, that could be on the interweb, looking at anyone with the eyes of making them into an object just for your pleasure. Now sloth, I don't mean the animal. And if you came to this video to get tips on how to fight a sloth, which would be the slowest fight known to man, I am so sorry. Sloth refers to the deadly sin of spiritual laziness. So we throw the word sloth around to either mean the animal or one who is a couch potato, one who has just watched the third season of a show in a day and a half. And we hold it up like as a virtue. We hold that up as something great. Like, look at all the shows I've watched. Look at how much time I have wasted. Sloth is spiritual laziness. So even if I'm really busy and really active and I'm running here and I'm always on the phone, whatever, I can be really active and I look productive even though I'm not producing much. I'm busy. We're all busy. I can be a slothful person even if I'm so active and busy, because sloth has to do with spiritual laziness, that I don't care about bettering myself. I'm after fame and pleasure and wealth and status. Like, I can be aggressively after all those things and a person of the world, and yet I have fallen to sloth because I don't care about bettering my soul. I don't care about the questions of God. And that in turn makes me more susceptible to especially lusts, which is such a great sin today, but I think sloth goes with it. And I think if you're hitting your head against the wall trying to conquer lust, consider targeting your sloth and looking where in your life are you falling to sloth and spiritual laziness. And I think that's going to help out a lot in combating lust, to make you free, to allow you to be free and more who you're being called to be. St. Thomas Aquinas said this, that those who find no joy in spiritual pleasures, sloth, turn to the pleasures of the body, lust. So Aquinas called it that in this age that is so divorced, we're so divorced from God and meaning and purpose, and it's just whatever you want to make of it, and that's freeing, and yet all at the same time gives you zero direction and makes us all the more susceptible to lust and just about pleasure, and that's it, and that leads to emptiness really quickly. So I am not just coming up with this out of nowhere. It was through the Bible that I had this insight here, and this is King David, a major figure in the Old Testament, prefigure of Christ, is a noble young man, but certainly is a fallen man and has his mistakes. And one of the most infamous ones is where he commits adultery with this woman, Bathsheba. Her husband is a soldier out on the front lines. He has him killed to cover up this affair he's had. But how did he even get in that situation of lust to begin with? And the very first verse here of chapter 11 of 2 Samuel. So 2 Samuel chapter 11 verse 1, it says, "In the spring of the year, the time when kings go forth to battle, David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel. And they ravaged the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem." So in the spring of the year, the time when kings go forth to battle, David stayed in Jerusalem. He's neglecting his duties right there. Where he should have been, he wasn't. He was focused on other things. And it says, it happened, this look of lust, which led to an affair. It happened late in the afternoon when it's post-siesta time and zero work is getting done at all, when laziness is on full force. This is when he gets himself into trouble. So recognizing that our sloth often comes about maybe because we haven't prayed, we haven't taken the spiritual things seriously, or we have been active in the wrong things, or we've neglected where we ought to be at work, which absolutely includes prayer. Now, if you're fighting some kind of inertia, or how do I even start caring about the spiritual things because I really don't care, first of all, ask God for the grace to care. to wake me up, help me to wake up to the things that are more important than the fleeting stuff of this world. So start seeking God, ask questions, examine your life. Where am I slacking? Where have I given up prayer? And again, as a busy parent, you don't have time to spend hours in a chapel. Like, pray on your drive home, keep a rosary in your pocket, and just as you feel those beads, offer up some prayers. When you're changing a diaper, say a prayer and ask God to infuse your mind. It's not about asking God just for stuff like he's a genie. It's about putting on the mind of God and reflecting on and asking, what it is do you want me to know, God? What is it you want me to be attentive to? That's going to help you move out of the sloth and start to combat your lust, because the lust is often when we get ourselves in trouble, when we're bored, when we're stressed, when we're looking for an outlet. And that spiritual laziness, if you fix that first, I guarantee you your lust it's going to start easing up a bit. It's not going to be totally cured, but you're gonna address some things that are leading to the problem. So plan ahead. Know when you have a Saturday where there's nothing to do and there's hours of unstructured time. Structure something. Do good work. Get outside of yourself. Go to the gym. Serve other people. Connect with real human beings. Don't just stay in your own little box here, because that's where we often get in trouble with lust. And so in loving your fellow man, in serving and communicating and reaching out to someone you haven't reached out to in a while, God's going to bless that and going to get you out of yourself and make you less likely to fall into lust. Our love has to be dynamic, and know too that if you're a husband, if you're a dad, your kids are watching you, and they're going to be watching, like, does my dad care about these spiritual questions and meaning and the universe? And because if he's not asking, then I'm not going to ask. Like, again, monkey see, monkey do. So our kids are watching us, and how do we want to model that? What are we spending hours doing? Are we just busybodies? Are we just active and busy all day and make no time for prayer? Or are our kids watching us slow down and spending time with the Lord? St. John Paul II had profound memories of seeing his father late at night, praying by his bedside on his knees. And that, he said, was the first seminary. That was the first school of him in prayer, was watching his father model it. Fulton Sheen talks about the family rosary as something that he may not have always enjoyed or gotten something out of as a kid, but it left a profound impact on him. St. Therese too. All these great, like, holy people have memories of praying together as a family, that their parents cared about the spiritual things, that they gave that energy just as much as they gave stuff they had to do in the world. They gave energy and focus to what's above. So those are just some of my thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, throw up a hashtag Ask Bobby if there's something you want me to specifically address, and I'll do my best to get to it. These are just the musings of one man, but I guarantee you, if you look at where am I falling to sloth, it will help you in conquering, or at least taking some concrete steps to conquer lust. From all of us at Ascension, God bless.